Bum ba ba, bum bum ba. What? Totally not Suzuki. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you. Let's get started, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Upa. Wah. All right. I hope all of you are doing really well. I welcome you to the podcast, hosting the show. Hello. Hi. I hope all of you had a wonderful day. Today, we have a really exciting and wonderful guest on the show. I'm talking to Sabie today, an RPG maker dev that made the game Sweeter Yesterday. We played the demo 2 days ago, so if you haven't seen that yet, oh, thank you so much for the gifted sub! Thank you. You're so nice. Thank you for the support. So, if you want to see what the game's all about, the VOD should be the latest VOD that you can find on my channel. It's a wonderful game, and they are absolutely stunning, and I'm so glad to have them on the show. All right, Sabie, do you want to tell our audience what you're all about?
Hi guys, my name is Sabie and I go by Magicabiedev online, and I'm the developer of the RPG horror game Sweeter Yesterday.
All right, wonderful. So we played your game really recently, and I absolutely loved it. It was wonderful. It was creepy, it was cute, it was unique. I loved it. Really high production values too.
Thank you so much.
So I have prepared a couple questions for you, and I'm sure you'll have no problem answering them.
Of course.
We also got some questions from the audience sent to us by Marshmallow. For those that don't know, a couple days before the podcast, usually I open up a marshmallow, and if you guys want to ask our guest any kind of question that they're comfortable with answering, you can do that there. And this time we got 2 questions, so at the end of the podcast, those 2 questions will be answered, hopefully. All right, let's get started. You have a really nice voice. I think that one's for you because they already know me.
Thank you so much.
Okay, my first question for you is, how does your creative process look like?
Okay, so my creative process for game development, normally I come up with stories and dialogue hours before I even implement them into the game, and this is usually always at night where I'm listening to music in my bed and I have a little diary next to me, and I just write down a bunch of scribbles and bullet points of random ideas I get when I'm inspired by music or scenarios I'm daydreaming of. And then the next day I usually implement it into the game. So that's how I best find my creativity at night and stuff.
Oh, I see. So you always have some sort of inspiration next to you, especially at night. I see.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's not at night, listening to music, it's scrolling through. It sounds silly, but it's scrolling through Twitter or Tumblr, and I find some tweets or posts, text posts, where someone will just say a really profound quote, and I'm like, wait, that's kind of deep, and I screenshot it and put it in a little mood board where I look back. I actually have a Sweeter Yesterday mood board with a bunch of Tumblr posts that really resonated with me. So that's funny.
But that's really smart to make a mood board first. Also, Chris Kaiju, thank you so much for the follow. And no worries at all.
Oh, thank you.
And Totally Not Suzuki says she has a humaniki, you could say, a dream diary.
No, literally. Oh my god, it's so unintentional, but exactly like that.
All right. Let's see. The next question. So also, it's really interesting that you still use Tumblr in that way, because I remember when I was starting out VTubing, I did a really similar thing. I made mood boards and folders full of in my case, 2,000 toys and like 2,000 things that I really liked to kind of help me paint a picture, what I wanted the character to be, like what kind of colors I wanted to use. So I totally get your method. It's a really smart
Right,
way.
it helps so much, like especially because your model is so cute now, so it paid off 100%.
Wow, you make me blush. You make me blush big time. That one
Stop.
penguin person, thank you so much for the follow. I hope you enjoy your stay here. Thank you. All right, my next question for you, Sabie. What is your favorite part of creating your games?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so what brings me the most joy out of game dev is the writing cutscenes and actually like creating those cutscenes in the game, because I thought about this while I was creating my favorite cutscene and I was like, it's a little bit like directing. It's like I'm a little bit of a director, like choosing the music that will play, the sound effects, the dialogue that the characters say, like what facial expression sprite they'll have and how they move, the lighting as well, and like the blackouts. Like it's kind of like directing your own movie in the sense when you're like making cutscenes, which is just so fun because I feel like it's any creative's dream to be like their own director, and I just find that like so much fun. Especially writing the dialogue, because confession, I used to be like a little bit of a Wattpad fan fiction writer, so like I definitely do love yeah, I love writing like dialogue for my characters because that Wattpad girl comes out in me.
Definitely, and I think comparing the game development to movies is actually really smart, because in both cases, most of the time, it's both a passion project and a collaborative effort, right? So,
Exactly.
so my question to you is, so you had to work with lots of different people for this project, right?
Yes.
So how was it to bring your idea, like, your love child, your game? How was that to explain that to people and basically, share your vision with them, tell them what you want them to do to achieve a result that, makes you happy? It is, how you envisioned that.
Okay, so I really enjoyed doing that because I had like a very clear vision and I wrote it in this like master Word document, and I was like, this is the plot, this is the entire outline, this is everything that happens. So most of the people who I work with on the project know like the entirety of what happens, like spoilers and all. And they were all so amazing about it. They were like, this is incredible. Like, I can't wait to work on this. And they were just, I've had the absolute honor of working with people who have just been like, tell me like whatever you need me to do. I'm so happy to contribute. So if it's like, for example, like art or music, I'm just like, this is what I'll need for this scene. And they'll like, I feel like we work really well together. And to give myself credit, it's for the master Word document. I advise everyone else to like, if you have a strong story you want to tell, literally outline all of it, and then your like story will come across like so much more clearly, and people will understand it better and hopefully be just as excited as you about it.
Were there any moments where the result that you got from, the person working with you surprised you?
In like a negative or positive sense?
Both, whatever you feel like sharing, of course.
I've actually never had like a negative experience. I've always been surprised positively. I think most recently, my main composer now, Oka, I'll actually let me pull up his Twitter quickly and like paste it in the chat.
Mhm.
I wrote like a Word document of what I wanted the title theme to be, which is actually like what you guys heard in the waiting room and from the demo of the game, like the title screen music. And I was blown away by what he sent me back, because I sent him references of other songs from games that I loved, like a lot of Mad Father soundtracks and Irisu Syndrome soundtracks. And he sent it back and it didn't sound at all like any of those, like obviously not copycat, but it sounded so unique yet similar at the same time. I was just so happy. So I posted his Twitter in the chat. So please check out his amazing music.
Oh, it got caught by the spam protection. You can tell us their name again, and then they can look him up on Twitter. I think that's
Bookclub_boo. I typed the handle without a link.
perfect. Yeah, that's just, you know, we talk about lots of sensitive topics here, so I usually have the spam filter like cranked up to super baby mode, so you can't call someone else dumb, or you can't say like certain phrases that you would use in a normal sentence because the filter thinks you're bullying. So I have to manually unlock your sentence. But since sometimes, you know, the subject matters get dark and there can be triggering content, I just feel like that's, at least for me, the safest way to be in charge of my own stream and my community.
Totally.
Has worked good. It's worked well for us. All right. So the next question I have for you is, what for you personally is the hardest part of your process creating games?
Oh my gosh, absolutely coding. Like, I am not a tech savvy girl at all. I find it so difficult. That is actually the reason why I strayed from creating games for so long. Like, I absolutely did not think that I could, because I struggle to like do Command C, Command V, like copy paste. So I'm not good at coding at all. I come across a lot of like the funniest bugs. It will be so simple, and then I'll be like, why is it not working? And shout out to my friend Base. He always helps me out, and he's like so kind as well. He never makes fun of me because it's like the funniest errors. It will be something so simple, and he'll calmly explain it and be like, this is why it's not working. And I'm like, thank you so much. So yeah, coding is not for me, which is sad because it's like a big part of it. But yeah.
Of course, but like, would you say that trying coding and kinda sometimes succeeding with it, would you say that that helped you to kind of overcome a lot of insecurities in that field? Like knowing that, you know, you can do it with a little bit of help?
With a little bit of help, totally. But yeah, and actually every time is like a learning process, because if I come across a similar error, which is always easy, but I'm like, oh my god, I can do this, and then I do it, and then I'm like, maybe I am Bill Gates after all. Like, I'm so tech savvy right now.
I really feel you on that, because I had the same experience with OBS. So at the beginning, I was really, really scared to set up my own scenes and, you know, become a VTuber, like make it work. But over time, you know, the longer you do this thing, the more you code, the more you stream, suddenly you feel like, you know, you can do these things. At some point, you don't need to ask for help for certain things anymore. And at least for me, it has been a really liberating experience to acknowledge that I'm not stupid. I can learn things when I set my mind to it, even when it looks really hard and intimidating at the beginning.
Yes, oh my god, exactly.
All right, so my next question for you is, what drives you to create, and what do you get out of creating?
So what drives me to create is mostly like I want to be able to tell a story. That is my biggest inspiration, and I want to be able to tell a story that like really resonates with people and has an impact on people, because I want to be able to like replicate the feelings that I felt playing my favorite horror RPGs when I was younger, like Mad Father, Eve, Misao, and Dreaming Mary, etc. And I just remember playing those as like a child with my sisters, and we were literally so into them. I would constantly daydream about them, and I was like in love with those games, and they really stuck with me for years. Even now, I'm a huge fan. And wouldn't it be so amazing if like one day someone felt that way about my game, like, oh my god, sweeter yesterday. So I just really hope that my game has an impact on at least one person. That will make me so happy.
That's such a beautiful sentiment. I really like that you're already thinking ahead of, you know, how the game could be perceived in a couple of years. And I think RPG Maker is such a nice, way to tell these stories. And also people say you're the cooler Bill Gates of the RPG Maker development.
It's true. That's me, guys. That's me.
Also, Dreaming Mary title theme slaps.
Oh my god,
That is
it does.
cool.
I listen to that like so much on repeat when I'm like coding. Not coding, what am I saying? Game developing. Yeah, that's the one thing we learned I can't do today. When I'm like when I'm working on my game, basically, I listen to that theme on loop, on repeat. It's so good.
It's wonderful. It's just so mesmerizing. Like, sometimes I put it on and I'm just like, this has been going for like 2 hours. I don't remember putting it on. And I can't bring myself to stop it. So I guess this will just play the entire day today.
No, it's so good. I wouldn't even be mad if that's like the only song I could listen to for like the rest of my life.
So one thing I've been wondering about, Sweeter Yesterday is basically about, thinking introspective into ourselves. Where do our personality traits come from? And like, are good people always, solely good? Or does, maybe everyone have like a kind of dark side to them? From what I could get from the demo, of course, I can't see inside your head. But that is kind of the feeling that I could figure out with all the like imaginary friends that Laletta has.
No, you have a really good one from the story. Yeah, exactly that.
And I wanted to ask, where did the idea come from? So how did the whole, thing unravel for you? Like, where did the idea come from?
Oh my goodness, I love this question. Thank you. Okay, so like Sweeter Yesterday as a concept is something I hold like very close to my heart because I've always been a fan of the, like the younger self looking up to the older self kind of trope. I just think that's so beautiful, like being the person that you wanted to be when you were younger. And it's such a precious concept that makes me so emotional. But so I wanted to create a game that looks like that, but although it may seem that trope applies to Sweeter Yesterday, it actually doesn't. And this is totally safe to say because it's like explicit enough in the demo and stated in the description, but that trope doesn't apply to Sweeter Yesterday because like Laletta is not proud of the person she's become, and that's mostly the whole horror aspect of the game, like psychological horror. Because to me, horror is less about jump scares, gore, and blood, but more about like the kind of person that you can become and the kind of like monster you can turn out to be, basically. And sometimes you may not even realize it. Like the whole thing with the imaginary friends, like how it was stated in the start of the demo, like, but how do we know who we truly are? Sometimes we have traits that can manifest in unexpected ways. And that whole concept, it's just like, it's so fire. Like patting myself on the back right now. I was like, I need to make a game based on this because it would be so interesting. You guys can tell I'm not really humble, oh my goodness. But like, yes, that is basically just a concept I hold really dear to my heart.
And I think you absolutely succeeded because, you start off the game and immediately from the beginning you get this like slightly eerie vibe and everything is made out of chocolate and you think, oh, so this is the kind of, sweet on the outside, sinister on the inside type of game. And I really enjoyed playing through that. Because like some of the side characters that we meet in the demo, they aren't sinister, like the bear that you have to give the chocolate piece to, or the painting that's in love with the other painting. Like it's, it's still kind of sweet and wholesome, but then you get to the teddy bear scene, which I don't want to spoil, and you're like, oh, we're here now, I see. And I can speak on behalf of myself and my audience that we are really, intrigued by what we saw.
Thank you so much. I was actually quite nervous about the demo because the horror gets just like so much. Why am I getting so emotional saying this? Oh my goodness. The horror gets so much worse later on that I was worried people would be underwhelmed by the demo because it is a horror game, and I state that. I'm like, it's a cute horror game, guys. And I was worried people would play the demo and be like, what is this? Why is it so flop and pink? It's not scary at all. So I was actually really surprised by how many people were like taken aback by that little teddy bear scene. I was like, oh my goodness, yay, like winning. But it only gets worse from here, sadly. I'm sorry to everyone who wants to see Valletta just have a fun, cute pink time. Like,
No cute pink time for you here.
exactly.
All right, I want to take a moment to respond to the chat messages. So we have to the reply of you not being humble. Johan says that Obama meme of him giving a medal to himself.
That's me. Oh my goodness.
Then Totally Not Suzuki says bitter on the inside, and Rosa says some horror games use disturbing things just for shock value. I prefer the psychological approach. Jump scares are good if done right. At least that's how I think of it. Yeah.
Clapping. Agree. Big agree. Also, that's Livy. Hi, Livy. Nice to see you.
Hello, Livy. Thank you for coming.
Yay!
Yeah, so I really like that, you know, even though it's a horror experience, it can still be nuanced about it. I watched a video about creepypastas a bit earlier, and the person was like saying how if you read creepypastas now, they're all really, really silly because they amp up the horror aspect to like 1,000,000 in like, you know, zero time at all. And you mentioned that you wrote fan fictions on Wattpad, and I've been guilty
Why are you bringing it up
reading
again?
fan fictions. So you know we're the similar kind of animal. I feel.
Oh my god, we're like two sides of a coin.
Like
you read my old fan fiction?
I will read your own fan fiction any day, and I'll praise it.
Thank you.
Praise it.
Thank you.
So.
Oh my god.
For example, with a lot of like creepypastas, just to compare to that kind of horror element, they'll say things like, oh, and his leg was injured, and the bone was sticking out, and there was blood everywhere, and the blood was, you know, there were like worms in there, and the worms are also bloody. And it's like, you know, it's like a never-ending like explanation of how bad things are. And I think a lot of horror, especially indie horror, kind of falls into this rabbit hole of, yeah, we're gonna give this like 1,000,000 gore things and like zero substance, like, you know.
Totally.
So I really like that you try to tell a psychological horror story, which in my, you know, opinion is way more memorable that way, because that kind of sticks to you when you're, you know, your mind has been challenged to kind of think about dark implications a story might have. Totally Not Suzuki says, it's wild how creepypasta scared me as a kid, but now I'm just like Slenderman. It's just a really polite man in a suit. Yeah, I agree.
No, he's still scary. I'm literally still scared of him. Like,
I'm scared of Jeff the Killer. I'm scared of the face.
Too.
I'm a baby.
Me too. And what was the name of that one dog that looks like
oh, from the TikTok thing. Where it's
I don't know. Smile Dog. What's his face?
Oh my
Smile
god. Dog. Oh my god, that's
I do not like him. Yeah, I don't like him.
Oh my god, no. Dude, no,
not my friend.
Don't say his name here. It's like Voldemort.
Yeah, exactly. Someone need to put down that dog ASAP. He's so creepy.
Yeah, not a big fan of that dog. They really are either they want to be Jeff the Killer. Yeah. And it's like, it's really funny how many teenagers are like romantically attracted to like, you know, the horror characters where it's like, oh, Jeff the Killer, I can change him. I can fix him. He will murder everyone but me.
Oh my god, my sister was actually telling me this because I'm still afraid of like a lot of creepypastas to this day, and she was like, Sabie, the best way to get over your fear is like look up creepypasta, like anime version, like hot anime boy, and if you look up like Slenderman, like sexy anime boy, apparently it's like, it's just not scary and you can't take it seriously and you like laugh instead of being scared. So I need to start doing that more.
That's such a good advice, because I remember when I was little, I was so scared of Ben Drowned, the video
Oh my
game
gosh.
thing with the old Zelda
Yes.
game, Majora's Mask, I think it is. I was so scared of Ben Drowned that I remember the first day where I saw like a video, you know, deep dive into that. I couldn't finish the video, so I didn't get to the part where he tells us it's fake. And I remember being so scared that I had to sleep in bed with my mom for like a night because I couldn't sleep in my room alone because I was too scared of Ben Drowned.
We've all been there. Oh my god, I just sent you on Discord.
Yeah,
like,
you s-
my waifu Ben Drowned.
I'm not gonna put it up publicly because of
Please
the blood, but yeah, he is a total hunk in that image. All right,
guys, all you have to do is look up Ben Drowned anime.
yeah,
and
it's
then
like
you will find.
it's funny because like I remember I was so scared of that, and I remember what kind of broke the spell for me with a lot of these is that people started posting them on Reddit, and then like the Reddit text-to-speech voice YouTube channels became a thing, and those kind of broke the spell for me when, you know, what is a true story that you will never forget happened to you that you can't explain, and then it's like a million of these like ghost stories, horror stories, and it's the same kind of tier where, you know, it starts out semi-believable, and then like Candle Cove, for example, if you guys know Candle Cove, and then
that's not real, right?
Candle Cove's not real, no.
Oh, thank God.
And then, you know, at some point they'll be like, yeah, you know, there was a character in this TV show, in this children's TV show, and his name was the Flesh Harvester, and you're like, okay, all right, this is like clearly creepypasta. This can't be real. Like, you lost me, bro. You have me at creepy TV show. Ah, thank you for the gnome. Thank you, guys, Sayega. All right, let's respond to some more messages, and then I will ask you your next question. So, Rosa said, Smile Dog used to scare the hell out of me. Tony Not Suzuki says, somebody made a Lost VHS type of video on that. Oh, and someone was scared by Sonic.exe. Do you remember that one?
Oh, no, that's still scary. I totally feel you,
yeah.
Ruby. Like, don't...
like, the old video game ones, like, they're so silly, like the Pokemon ones. They're...
Yes!
I was so scared of those. The Buried Alive one, that scared me a lot as like a little baby. The Buried Alive Pokemon creepypasta.
Oh my god, I should put all these in my game. Like, just a mashup of these and be like, guys, ultimate horror game.
You need to make like a little dev room, like a little Easter egg dev room, and then there's like a pixelated Ben Drowned just standing there. And then, you know, you talk to him and it says like, he was sexier than I imagined, or than I remembered.
No, because this is so fun. I'm actually gonna do that. Like, I promise, guys. But
you can't see that image or you'll die. I don't know, fan. I'm supposed to be dead since 2011. Yeah. I was so scared of like the, you know, share this with like 5 people or your mom will fall down the stairs. I was like, no, I don't want my mom to fall down the stairs. I don't want to share this thing with like my mom. I hate
that's so funny. Chainmail, that's what they're called.
Oh yeah, like chain. Yeah, I remember.
But you also had the nice ones. I still send these to my friends as like a joke because I find it funny. But like the, send this to 5 people and your crush will ask you out tomorrow and 5 boys will date you and you'll get kissed. And I send them to my friends like in this day and age, and they're just like, Sabie, what are you doing? Like, stop.
My favorite part is that they always start out nice to say like, you will find $1 million, your crush will marry you. But if you don't share this, your mom will fall down the stairs. And I'm just like, no, don't do this to me.
Exactly.
Please don't. Wow, I see so many people that were scared of creepypastas that I found them rather funny years ago, and now Yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think as a younger teen, you always kind of think, what if they were real, you know? There's so many things that are unexplained. Maybe Ben drowned is one of them. Can never
Oh,
know.
exactly.
Nowadays, I'm not really scared of anything either. I find a lot of scary stuff more artistic than anything. Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of beauty in some horror games. Like, you know, there's a lot of elbow grease and heart put into any scary game. It is something you need to craft, you know, so it lands well. The chainmail thing kind of went to TikTok now. Good, the kids are all right. You know, they deserve to suffer like we suffered. It's fine. They'll snap out of it.
It's nice to see how, like, no matter what generation comes, you'll always have that same internet culture with the chainmail. It's like, oh my god, it's getting passed down properly. This is so reassuring.
Yeah, definitely. And now we have a perfect segue for the next question, since the kids are all right.
Ooh!
What is your advice for any young aspiring creators looking to make their first game?
Oh my gosh, I love this question. Anything that's just like inspiring, I'm like, yes, let's go. Okay, so my advice is that even if you think you can't, just go for it. And that is so cliche, but it's actually so true at the same time, because like I said, I can't code at all, and I'm really not good at anything like computer science related. So I always didn't think I could make a game, but I didn't realize that RPG Maker is so accessible for people. And they actually have like one of my favorite quotes. RPG Maker is so like inspiring. This is on their website. It says, simple enough for a child, powerful enough for a developer. And that is so true, because like it's simple enough that a child could use it, and powerful enough that you see these amazing game devs like Astral Shift making these amazing games in RPG Maker. So for that sense, if you think that you can't in game dev related, always like check out RPG Maker, because it's really worth it. And if you feel like you can't do other things, there's always a way. Like, I can't draw at all. Oh my goodness. So I don't know. For those of you who have played the demo, when you open like the little chest in the first chocolate room, that little drawing of the imaginary friends, that is the only art I drew in the entire game. And it's funny because it's the worst one. It's the one that's meant to look like a child's drawing. So I was like, if it's messy, I can draw it. But anyways, I can't draw art. So like I outsource my art, and I contacted my favorite artist. She's been my favorite artist for years, Motima-san, the one who did my icon right now and all the art for the game. And I proposed my project to her, and I asked if she wanted to work with me, and now we're like really close friends. Like, that's my bestie. So literally just like go for it. There's always a way, whether it's like programming or coding. If you feel like you can't do it, you can if you put your mind to it and get a little bit of help sometimes. And if you can't do art, then just like outsource it, or always look for other ways. That is my biggest advice.
Honestly, same.
Yes.
I think it's always important to get started. I think that's like the most important step. And it's like you said, RPG Maker is so inclusive. If you wanna, you can use all the stock sprites at the beginning till you got acquainted with the program. And like you said, you know, not being able to draw is no longer a roadblock, because we're so connected worldwide through Twitter, through forums, through everything, that either you learn it yourself and make it, or you commission a really talented person and show them, you know, how valuable you find their work. So there's really only winning with it. And, you know, maybe if you don't have money, they just, you know, especially if they're smaller artists, you know, they will just agree to help because they want to be in a game too. Maybe your passion can spark over to them, especially if they're a good friend.
Exactly. And like, I feel that so many people want to be involved in a game that not enough people notice. Like there are a lot of artists who want to make a game but like aren't good at not aren't good, but they don't feel like they can write a story, and a lot of storytellers that don't think that they can draw well. And if you just reach out to people and be like, I want to make a game, who wants to join me, I feel like you'll get so much more positive feedback than you would have expected, which is so lovely.
And this program has been out forever. So, for example, Totally Not Suzuki says, it's so cool seeing RPG Maker still going strong. And then one Penguin person says, as someone who is an inspiring game dev, your game is really inspirational.
Oh, thank you.
That line is so good, to think it's so simple that even a child could give children the opportunity to be creative and can help them if they want to be a coder. Yeah, and you know, another great thing is there are like a million versions of RPG Maker. Like they come up with a new one pretty regularly. And if you wishlist them on Steam, because some of them are on Steam as far as I know, they go on sale pretty frequently. Like you can get them at a great bargain with like lots of asset packs and stuff and art packs. So definitely, you know, keep your peepers peeled if you want to start with RPG Maker. I don't know if some versions are free. I think that's also the case. And, you know, you haven't heard it from me, but there's definitely a way to get a version that doesn't cost money.
Did you?
I've been raised in the 2000s. My outlook on these kind of things is a bit, you know, is a bit more leaning towards that kind of side of the internet.
Fair enough. As a strong advocate for RPG Maker, if it goes on sale, take that opportunity.
Yeah. I can highly recommend that. I have dabbled in it as well.
Oh, really?
Nothing ever came out of it, but I used the stock sprites to kind of teach it to myself. And I was like, oh, I will make the best game ever. You know, Bethesda is gonna be at my feet. They're gonna publish Hero Quest 66, you know, they're gonna beg for the rights to Hero Quest.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
Hearing peepers gave me flashbacks to Angels of Death. I heard that before. What's Angels of Death again?
Oh, another like super famous RPG horror game, and that got turned into an anime actually, which is probably why you've heard of it.
Ah, that's the one where the guy has like the bandages all over him. He has a scythe, right?
What's his name? Oh my god, I fully know this, guys. Zach. His name, Zach.
Yeah, Zach. I remember him. And they go out for a house and there are different levels in the house, and she's a cute little blonde girl.
Yes, Zach Foster. Oh,
yeah.
Genius.
I remember that. Yeah. Oh my god. I didn't know that wasn't the basis of a game. Wow. You learn something new every
Isn't it
day.
insane how it got like its whole, like its own anime? Like
that's a dream. Sweeter yesterday anime when, huh?
I wish. Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Have you thought about taking some basic coding lessons? Asked Geisterjäger.
Oh, me? I have before, and it's never really turned out well, which, oh my god, this kind of contradicts what I was saying. Like, you guys can do it, but that's a me problem. Like, you guys can do it, but I just struggle. Like,
I think everyone learns in a different way. I think if you're better with tutorials, you know, some people need a YouTube tutorial and they pause it a million times and go back a million times. I'm some people, by the way. And some people need a teacher that, you know, tells them to do something and guides them along the way and answers questions. And some people just have to, you know, try and error over and over and over again and ask for help in a forum. Especially, you know, if it's a passion project, you can decide how you want to learn. And that is the beauty and also the crux, right? Because sometimes life comes in the way, or you're lazy and you're like, you know, I'll do it another time. Or you get frustrated and you're like, this YouTube tutorial, this doesn't help me at all. So I think my advice for that kind of situation would just be try out different ways of learning. Consider lessons if you can afford them, if you're comfortable to afford them. But there are lots of free resources online for every type of passion. So yeah, where there's a will, there's always a way. I believe at least. Let's see. I was Zach for Halloween once, lol, says Evie.
Oh, amazing.
I like learning off templates and pre-made stuff, analyzing what's going on and trying to make sense of it. Yeah, that's how I do it. Like when I used to dabble in pixel art a little bit, I would look at sprites and see how they do the shading and like really zoom in, which, you know, for pixel art, that's like amazing because then you can really see where they dropped, you know, a pixel there, a pixel here, how the, you know, color blending basically works. So that is my personal advice. I used to do pixel art in Photoshop back in the day, where you make like a canvas that's like ridiculously small and you zoom in and then you kind of do the art, but it's like, you know, it's a bit scuffed.
Oh my gosh.
That's how we used to do it back in the day. We didn't have a sprite or other programs specifically for pixel art.
Oh my gosh.
I remember how scary it was when I opened RPG ACEVX in 2019. So complicated, lol. Yeah. You know, it's the kind of thing where some programs give you a lot more tools if you know what to do. But sometimes, especially when you're starting out, a simpler tool like RPG Maker that, you know, even gives you the pre-made sprites can be a lifesaver. Because there it's like, you know, this is like for babies. Like, you can do this. And then later, when you learned how the basics work, you can put your own art assets in and stuff and kinda, you know...
completely customize it.
Yeah, exactly. Back in my days. Yeah, exactly. I'm probably late for asking questions, but I'm curious. What's both of your favorite RPG Maker horror games are? Digi and Sabie, I mean, by both. You start, Sabie.
Oh no, we're gonna be here all day. Okay, I love so many RPG horror games. Mad Father was my first. Ebe, Misal, Dreaming Mary. I'd say Dreaming Mary #1. And I love Pocket Mirror as well. So many good ones. Okay, that's all I'm gonna list for now. To save everyone.
What is the one where you are like a person going through a witch's house and...
Witch's house!
Okay, yeah, great. That was like the one I recently remembered that I was into. My favorite one, that's difficult. I really enjoy a strong, distinct visual identity. So my choice would be Wada no Hara.
Oh my god, slay!
That can be a dodgy subject for some, because people handle different subjects differently, and it is by no means a perfect experience. But I remember I fell in love with the character art, and I really fell in love with like all the fan art people made of the main character of that game.
I just feel like such a fundamental like staple of everyone's childhood was just being obsessed with Deep Sea Prisoner's character design and the art style. It's so good.
It's wonderful. It's a beautiful game. And of course, Mad Father. I remember Mad Father was probably the first game where I watched the Let's Play and I had to see all the endings and stuff, and I was so like engrossed into Aya, and like I think there's a song too, like a Vocaloid song about Mad Father, if I remember correctly, back in the day.
Oh, you're kidding! I need to. How do I not know that? I feel like a fake fan. I love Vocaloid and Mad Father.
I might be mistaken. I know Wada no Hara has a Vocaloid song with Gumi. I know Mad Father has one about Aya, definitely, because I remember that. Like, I have the thumbnail, like, ingrained into my mind. Let me see if I can find it on YouTube real quick. Mad Father song.
When you look up Mad Father song, it's just a bunch of pictures of Dio. Oh my god, I had the biggest crush on him as a kid. He was like missing an eye and everything, and I was still like, he's the one for me, you guys.
I think Old Doll is the song. That means it's not a Vocaloid song though.
No, that was the
That's from
that's
Ib!
the name of
Ah.
Yeah!
Oh, I see.
Wait,
So that was just like AMV thing.
Mm-hmm.
Someone just tagged this wrong and bamboozled me. Wow.
Wait, Eve has a Vocaloid song about Mary?
I know Wada Nohara definitely has one. I know Ib probably has some as well. Let's see. Let's check the comments here real quick. Good choices from both of you. Does anyone like The Crooked Man? It's so underrated. Oh, I never heard from that one before.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's a whole series, like the Strange Men series.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
And then
I'll
there's
give
the
it a try.
Boogeyman, the Sandman.
Oh, I think I heard of one of those before.
Mm-hmm.
Ah yeah, Ib also had a Vocaloid song about Mary. Mad Father had a remake recently, well, remaster. Oh, I might play that then. Mad Father remaster sounds wonderful. I'd love to check that out. All right, let's answer the next question. So I think this question was like kind of already answered. What's the hardest thing when you just started, and what do you struggle with now? You said you're not really that great at coding, but is there something else you kind of feel like you struggle with?
Now, not so much, thankfully. I'm really thankful for that there aren't as many roadblocks. But definitely back then, the biggest thing I struggled with was making my game visually pleasing. And I'm really excited to share progress photos with you guys. I'll send them to Digi right now because I've come such a long way. And I was so insecure about my game at the start because whether or not you could have in my head, I kept on telling myself, like, you could have a 10 out of 10 story and people still won't play it if it looks like really bad. And that's like such a bad mindset to have, but that's what I kept telling myself. And I was like really insecure because I did not like the way my game looked. I'll send progress photos right now. Okay, so for those of you who played the demo, this is the first version of what the psychiatrist room at the start looked like. She's not even sitting on the chair.
All right, let me save this. This is wonderful.
I wasn't. And then this is the second version, and then the third version.
Give me 1 second. I'm putting it up on screen.
Yes,
so you
no
guys
worries.
Can see.
You guys never before seen pictures. Please do not make fun of me. I'm but learning, slowly but surely.
Look at that. Let me put this. This is certainly a room.
It's a room. Stop! It's.
I love how the plant is just on the floor. It's just like, yeah, we put a plant here.
It's so random. It's like not even sitting on anything. Ah! Oh my gosh! And why is the wall so? Okay. Why is there like a shadow on the carpet? Guys, I'm in shambles.
I think it's wonderful.
Thank you so much. Swiftly moving on.
All right, let me show the second iteration of this room. So I'm putting the second one up on screen right now as we speak. But can you tell us how much time was in between the first iteration and the second iteration? Do you maybe remember? It's totally okay if you don't.
I totally do, because it was like a life-changing. I wrote it down in my calendar and everything. I was like, oh, I made it look better. The first iteration was January 2022, and then the second one was this summer, so like June, so 6 months.
Wow.
And then yeah, and it's the same layout as what you see in the demo, but the thing is, this map is made in editor, so like I made the map in RPG Maker instead of using parallax mapping, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But this is that was the second version.
Yeah, give me just 1 moment.
No worries. Digi, in the meantime, I'll send you like progress pictures of the other rooms to save time. I'm so efficient like that.
You're just wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, let's look at the third version first then of the psychiatrist's office. So this is the one we see in the demo, right? Or this is like really close at least to the one that
No,
we
it's
see in
the
demo?
it's the same one.
All right. So guys, this is how it looks in the final game. Then oh, it's a bit too big. Let me resize her real quick. Let me do this. Whoop. You can tell I'm a pro by how I'm doing this. But this is the final room, right?
Yes.
Look at that
It
ambient
has
lighting.
like lighting effects, like little dust particles floating in the actual game, but because this is a still screenshot, you like can't see it.
That looks so nice. I really love the swan image in the background there.
Thank
That's
you.
really cool. The lighting is incredible, yeah. And to the one before, Johan says, definitely one of the room ever made.
Definitely. Thank you. Oh, the lighting help I got from my friend Ellie, who helps me with a lot of the sweet. Actually, why I say a lot? All of the Sweeter Yesterday maps. So, Ellie, thank you so much. Everyone's saying the lighting is phenomenal as it is.
So let's look at another old image here. And I have to say, the character sprite on the older version here looks really interesting. That's a different sprite too, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah. The sprites are all different.
Let's make this a little bigger so you guys can see the sprite a bit better. So that's totally different from then. Let me put this one up on screen. I'm doing my best here. I know I'm not really fast, but I'm definitely.
Oh, no worries. I was laughing at the room because it's like a square. It's so abysmal. I feel like this would do better in a horror game because it's actually scary. It's like, why does it look like that?
Yeah, and it's like, it's a bit claustrophobic, isn't it? By making it so small and giving us like the black void around it. I think that's actually a really good like stylistic device people could use in making their games. Just make the map a bit smaller so it feels, you feel kind of trapped in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's actually really cool.
Thank you. I just think it looks better like dimension-wise because I learned that a lot of my old maps used a bunch of unnecessary space, so the maps just looked empty and it had like less atmosphere. But I didn't add like, even though I added new stuff, it looks so much more atmospheric just because of the size change as well, which is like a really good tip for maps.
Oh, Porin, thank you so much for the raid. Thank you. Hello, raiders. Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. We're interviewing Sabie right now. Sabie's RPG Maker dev. And we're looking at the progression of their old art to their new art. So if you guys are interested, definitely stay tuned. Oh, thank you so much for the follows, everyone. You're so sweet. Oh, your model is so cyberpunk. Thank you. Foreign raid. You better get comfy. Wow. I'll do my best to get comfy. Hi there, everyone. Let's show them. These are really nice sprites. I think these are a great comparison. Oh, thank you for the follows. You guys are way too sweet to me. So basically to show you guys what we're talking about here. Oh, where did I put this one? Oh, let me just make a new image source. It's okay. So I'm hosting a podcast to encourage new creatives. And Sabie is showing us their progressions from this sprite at the beginning that you can see right now on screen. Let me zoom this out. For example, this one. How they got to this one.
Jump scare! Oh my god.
Oh no, I didn't mean to jump scare you.
It's like seeing it on screen again. It's like giving me so many flashbacks.
Thank you for the follows, guys. You're so dreamy. You make me smile. You're really wonderful. I'm tearing up a bit. Oh, Thank you so much. But yeah, we're talking about how to, continue working on your craft and keep improving, and how welcome a friendly RPG Maker is. So if you guys always wanted to make your own game, RPG Maker is definitely a great point at starting. And just to show you how this looked at the beginning, this is how it looked in January, right? This is the January.
Yeah, and like a whole year later then.
And this one, the one with the really cool lighting, this is like, yeah, you said a year, right?
Yes, exactly.
So that really doesn't matter how you start off. You can achieve greatness if you just keep on honing your craft and continuing. Oh yeah, let me introduce myself to you guys real quick. Let me do this real quick. My name's Digishell, and I'm a Tamagotchi VTuber. Hi, hello everyone. I really like the 2000s, and I really like everything Y2K and Lost Media. So that's the kind of content I like doing. I like RPG Maker games, creepy games, all sorts of indie games. And I also do the occasional, just kind of real talking, chill talking, listening to the rain, just kind of winding down, relaxing, kind of talking streams. So if you like that kind of stuff, definitely stay tuned. And I support the community by interviewing amazing people like Sabie here. This is Sabie.
Thank you.
Magicabiedev Sabie is, I think, your Twitter handle. Please feel free to let me link that one as well real quick. Sabie is wonderful, and they made a game recently, and it's called Sweeter Yesterday, and we played it on stream actually a while ago. We played that 2 days ago. So if you guys want to see me talk about a teddy bear's bulge, definitely check out the VOD of that stream. And support Sabie, please. They're absolutely wonderful. All right, I pulled up your Twitter.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Purin, that's for you to find out. Purin, if you want to know more about the bulge, you'll have to watch the VOD, I'm afraid. There's no other way I'd talk about his bulge again. Honka honka. All right.
Oh
Let's see. The title screen here is amazing. Let's compare these two. And I think that's like the last comparison. And then I'd ask you a couple more questions if that's okay with you.
Yes, of course.
All right.
This is the saving screen, I think.
Yeah, exactly. This is the your saving screen. Let me just change the image in this one. So at first she looked like this.
I'm nervous. I don't want to see it again. It's like flashbacks.
So at first she looked like this. Also, her game is free, by the way. Her game is absolutely free. You can play the game for free, the demo. And nowadays, after her glow up, she's way too big now. She's way too high quality. Now she looks like this. And I think that's beautiful. She really served everything. Look at the sprite. It's so cute. So cute.
Thank you.
I immediately throw my teddy bear away. I'm sorry. I didn't want to talk about their bulge too much. All right.
Oh my gosh. Oh yes, about the difference in maps basically. So oh yeah, what I was saying about parallax mapping, like the first few maps that were shown, the old ones, those were made in RPG Maker. So like they were like made with the tiles inside the game. I don't know if that makes sense to someone who like doesn't know how RPG Maker works, but basically like you use the tile sets in the game and you like draw it in the engine. But the new ones are you created using parallax mapping, which is basically like an image, so you can create the map in Photoshop, and that gives you like so much more variation because you can do like hand-drawn maps or watercolor maps. You can literally have anything as an image. Like you can have like your driver's license as like the background image and have like a little
Wow.
character walk. Probably not a good idea. I don't know why I said that. But anyways, I learned how to do parallax mapping through tutorials by Lydia, Aishin, and Kira, who Lydia's the dev of Midnight Train and Arya's Story. Aishin made Arcadia, and Kira made Pocket Mirror. And it's just like these tutorials of these amazing devs that they put out their step-by-step processes. I found it so helpful and inspiring, and that's literally how I progressed thanks to them sharing their resources. So I am happy to share mine as well, to like give back to the people who gave to me, in the sense like I want to share progress pictures and show people like it didn't start out perfect, guys. It was really tough. I mean, so never give up in that sense.
Never give up. RPG Maker is so
Yay!
nostalgic. Yeah, you're right. Like, that has been around since the 2000s, and they're still crack-a-lack, and they're still giving us new versions, which is amazing. And new games keep out, you know, getting made, which is so wonderful to me. It's just like this little bit of indie creativity never dies. And I love to see what people make. Purin says, I grew up with RPG horror games, and they're so charming. Really want to give this one a try. Oh, you should, Purin. It's right up your alley. It's really like sweet, you know. Stuff is made out of chocolate. There are plushies and teddy bears. But, you know, it's a horror game for a reason, right? It's a really nice short demo, so you can definitely, you know, play that one for free and keep up with Sabie on her Twitter, which I linked before, but I can link here again. So you guys can check her out. Also, Mayu Cocoon says, art is great. Drawing is hard work and takes a lot of energy and time. And yes, that's 100% true. That's drawing, it takes forever, but you know, the results, especially, you know, here in the map making and the sprite making, it really shows how much love went into it, right? Like it's just wonderful.
So much. I am so flattered. Oh my goodness.
Totally Not Suzuki says, Yumeniniki or Tuki, or however you want to call it, is still updated to this game. Tuki. Alright, then I have to drop my Niniki, even though I think it sounds a bit nicer than Tuki.
Niniki. Oh, wait! No! Oh my god! Niniki, that makes sense.
Really?
I just had like a eureka moment. I think you're right. I think I was lying. I think I made that up.
I know it's both is being used by people. I'm confusion. Purin asks,
anywho,
is there an estimated date already for the full game or not yet?
Yes, actually estimated, because it's not confirmed yet, but it would be amazing if I could release the full game by this time next year, so December 2023, but that's like really optimistic. It will probably take longer, but for now that's like at least my goal.
And you said you're also expanding the scope, adding new characters, you know. In the game, the main character has a lot of imaginary friends, and basically a part of their personality is expressed through these imaginary friends. So, you know, what if one of these friends is narcissistic or, you know, a bit psychotic? Does that mean perhaps our main character has these kind of traits in herself too? That is the kind of thing the game wants to explore, to give you a kind of, you know, back of the box kind of description of the game. Just like me. Oh, don't say that, Corin. No. But yeah, the game is increasing in scope, and I think the demo you already put out is beautiful and definitely worth, you know, being showcased and played, because there's just so much passion in there.
Thank you so much. I think that the biggest thing that is stopping me from releasing it sooner, because I'm quite a fast worker, not in the sense that it's rushed, but it's just because I take so much time when I'm not deving. Just like every second of my day, I'm thinking about this story so I can work pretty quickly. It's like the fact that it's a free game is that my budget is quite low because like it won't cost money. I'm slowly running out of money to put into the game, and there's still stuff that needs to be commissioned, like songs that are left and art assets. So oh my god, wait, no, this sounds like I'm like asking for money. It sounds like that a little bit. But anywho, that is part of what's it called? Like a roadblock in my game dev journey. So guys, I have a Ko-fi if you want to support me yesterday.
You know, I think that is something every game dev can tell you is a really common roadblock that you face. And every VTuber can tell you that, because sometimes, you know, you commission your model, you get someone for the rigging, and then you're like, shit, I need overlays, I need panels, I need a schedule graphic, I need so many things, I need alerts, I need like a custom sound, I need the screens, and you're like,
emotes and stuff, yeah.
It's gonna be expensive, isn't it? And then of course there's free resources, but I think if you're kind of at the point where you are now, of course you want customized assets just for you. You don't really wanna take too much out of the RPG Maker, like pre-made assets. And I have a question towards that, and then we're gonna read some more audience messages. So when I was playing to the game, there is a point where you go outside the house to the restaurant, right? And I don't know if you watched the vault completely, but I'm walking closer to the trees. They're like round trees that look like what do you call them? Ear swabs, like cotton swabs. And
Q-tips.
Yeah, Q-tips. And I say something like, these look like Madoka Magica kind of trees. And I was wondering if those were like a pre-made asset or if those were like custom-made trees for the game.
No, they were pre-made assets, but like when I did come to that like similar vibe, so I was like, it's a coincidence, but
let's just
it was yeah, exactly. I was like, these work, you know, especially because like I feel like Madoka is also a huge inspiration for my game, which is kind of obvious, like the cute pink turning to horror, kind of like that whole deal. And especially one of the imaginary fountains design wise is inspired after Cube. So yes, I love Madoka.
Me too. I'm a big Madoka head, always have been, will never change. It's kind of funny, as I grew older, my favorite Madoka character has changed, I think 5 times over the years.
Oh really? Who is it now?
So at the moment, I think it's Sayaka again. But,
oh my gosh!
But we it's a mix of Sayaka and Kyoko, because those really go like hand in hand. So the beginning it was Sayaka, and I didn't care what anyone else. It was like, Sayaka's perfect. She's a wife. And then I was like, you know, her and Kyoko, that's a good romance. I really like that. And then I started to really like Mami, because Mami had this like whole subplot of, you know, people depend on her to do well and succeed, and Mami's kind of like crumbling under the pressure a bit from that. And then it came...
They're all such amazing characters.
Definitely. Surprisingly, I think Madoka has, I guess, the least amount of development, but that's kind of the point, because at this point, not to spoil anything, of course, but Madoka has more of an idea than she really is a person at this point in the timeline. You should check Madoka Magica out. It's a great anime. It has a couple movies, even a recap movie, if you don't want to watch the 12-season anime for it. And it goes pretty crazy. It's artistically beautiful, and it inspired this game. So give Madoka a watch if you please, Sel. Alright, let's read some messages. We got some more. Totally Not Suzuki says, it's also really cool seeing streamers play these RPG Maker games, since I feel that's rare to see. Yeah, and you know, we should play them more, because they are like the most earnest indie effort in my opinion. Like, there's rarely something more indie than RPG Maker. Like, this is a starting point where you show, you know, where your creativity lies in a way, right? For all the customization you can do with the program.
Exactly.
Johan Mike says, as Shigeru Miyamoto once said, a delayed game is eventually good, but a rushed game is forever bad. I love that one.
It's
Never
so
rush
good.
games.
It's
So you said December next year would be like the earliest we could technically expect it. But it's more likely then that it would come out in 2024, right?
maybe, but yeah, we never know. We never know.
Never know. But you will keep us updated, right? So if we want to follow you, we should probably do that on your Twitter, right? There are plenty updates posted there. So if you guys have a Twitter, definitely consider checking Sabie out. I can 100% recommend it.
Thank you.
Totally not Suzuki
Sometimes
says,
too many updates.
too many there are never too many updates. Never, never, never.
I get so excited that I posted all 3 new characters at once, and my sister was like, Sabie, you know, you should do like one by ones to increase the tension. But I was like, I was so excited.
To be honest, I totally get that. I had like a whole surprise planned for my stream, and I was like, okay, I have to share the in-progress images with them. All right, guys, let me let me share with you something I can show you. So I'm currently softly rebranding. Not really rebranding, but we're getting new stream assets, and this is like the concept drawings for the new starting soon screen. And originally I wanted to save it, you know, till the final image is made, but I just couldn't, you know, I just couldn't. Because
You're
it's
just
so
like
fun.
me.
Yeah, and the artist of this one, let me send you this one as well. Their name is Wowo Ailili. They are from Japan and they're a wonderful artist. Let me post this one to you too. So if you want to check this artist out, they're absolutely stunning. Really love them. All right. Now, let's ask you your next question, shall we?
Yes. Oh my gosh, those look incredible.
She's just like me. She's just like me for real. Shoujo praying.
For real. Me and Digi right now. We're so twins core. Twins core.
Twins core.
I don't know. I said that.
It's cute. It's cute. You can leave it. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So the next fuzzy mouth. The next question I have for you is, do you ever feel burned out or overworked, and how do you deal with that?
Okay, so because I'm like so busy with classes all the time, I actually feel the opposite. I feel bad when I don't work enough on my game instead of feeling like overworked or burnt out. Which I think is probably a better problem to have, because oh my god, I do not know how I'd feel if I would be overworked with my game, because it's like a hobby for me and like such a source of joy that I'd be really upset if it was a cause of stress for me instead. But for dealing with it, for feeling like not overworked, I just like reward myself by timing how long I spend in RPG Maker. And even if it's just for like an hour every 3 days, it's like good progress. And I look back on it and see what I did within just that hour. And I'm like, slowly but surely things are happening.
So Mayo Cocoon asks, do you write all the code in the game?
Oh, absolutely not. Oh my goodness. I use so many external scripts provided within the RPG Maker community. I think like there's so many overlapping scripts that like a lot of RPG Maker games use, and I find it really funny when I like play other ones and I recognize it and I'm like, oh, that's Yanfly's script, or that's Mog Hunter's script or something. And it's just like, it's really nice that everyone shares all their assets, so every game can like be the best version of itself possible.
It's wonderful that this community always kind of comes together to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
So Rosa says, I got so surprised in the moment. I noticed I had 156 hours on RPG Maker, lol. 156 hours. Wow, you're making RPGs, huh? You're really
Yeah,
cracking. That's cool. It's so cool. I totally relate to that. Like, one advice in that regard I can give is sometimes I feel a bit overwhelmed from streaming. And I always come out with the thought that when I decide to stream anyway, I usually look back on it and I can say, yes, it was the right decision to stream, even if I only stream for an hour, even if I only stream for 30 minutes. And there's no use punishing yourself if you're feeling burned out. Sometimes you need to take a break and, distance yourself from what is burning you out. But sometimes when you just don't know what to do, when you're kind of like in between, just do smaller increments. Like Sabie said, 3 hours or 1 hour every 3 days, right? Like sometimes that is enough, and you will still make progress and you will still continue, because especially if it's a passion project or a drawing, you are the master of what happens. You decide when it gets published, you decide when it releases, and you have the power to decide when you're able to, feel comfortable with releasing it. Sometimes perfection is just not possible. Would you agree, Sabie?
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, so much.
Like sometimes, at least for me, I'm just like, yeah, it's good the way it is. I made progress. This is way better than the stuff I did in the past. And maybe the next thing I'll do, the next stream, or I don't know, the next project I tackle, I can just use the things that I learned from that experience and, gradually climb the steps, right?
Exactly.
So real talk, when Laletta plush, Elmao?
Soon, hopefully. If you guys actually know anywhere I can like get a plush made, do let me know, because I definitely want to make like little keychains and charms, because they've been like greatly requested for the final game release, like little merch like that. But I would definitely want like a plush for myself so I can hug like my little baby Lala.
I can recommend Donut Moth. They are
Oh,
a VTuber collective that does merch for small creators. Of course, small, over 1,000 followers, but still, small. And I
oh
think...
my gosh, please.
Sorry, you first.
No, I just said please send me the link, of course.
I'll send you the link later. It's just how you spell it, Donut Moth. Just the two things together.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Rosa says smaller teams better than bigger teams on RPG Maker. It depends on your scope, I think. It depends on what you want to do. I think it's nice to have someone who helps you with stuff. Like, I like talking to my friends about VTubing and just kind of asking for advice. Just keeping them updated. I think there's definitely something said that if you do stuff with other people, you're more inclined to finish what you started in a way.
Exactly.
But if a team is too big, the scope just becomes watered, of course, after a while.
Unattainable, maybe.
Yeah,
a little bit.
That too. And the voice of the project is kinda muddled, if that makes sense. If too many people are trying to get their voice in. Like you need like, I think you said that earlier, Sabie, you had like a master document. You had like a big document where the whole plot was like lined out and stuff. With a big team,
exactly.
that's like really important that you have something like that. And Mayuk-kun asks, I want to make my own game. Is there something I need to know before doing it? Also, thank you, Sebahan fan. Thank you. Thank you for the follow. Welcome.
Yay! Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good. All good.
But I want to make my own game. Is there something I need to know about before doing it? I'd say my biggest advice would be know that sometimes you may not be able to do everything by yourself, and that's totally okay. I find that a lot of people over glorify solo devs, and while solo devs are amazing and super talented, sometimes it just gets too much for people. And if you need to ask for help or commission other things or outsource things, that's totally fine, and it's always such a good and useful option to have and always consider.
Definitely. And it's like, sometimes, as I said earlier, real life comes in the way. Sometimes, you have, I don't know, relatives coming over, or you have finals, you have like a big thing at your job. And in moments like that, it's, invaluable when you can outsource some parts of work, because there's a lot of like smaller work that normally, can't fall by the wayside, like someone needs to do it. And if you do it alone, it might still be really time consuming, especially, when it comes to coding. So as, Sabie mentioned earlier, using like pre-made scripts that the community offers you, and I think that is something I'd recommend you, look into the RPG Maker community, scour the threads, find scripts that you can use, learn coding through YouTube, through tutorials, through, open source coding that other people publish in like a pastebin or something. Be not afraid to ask for help, or maybe, make a post asking, who wants to make a game with me? And as Sabie said earlier, the resonance to that kind of thing can be really positive. And it's way more fun to do it, with other people in that way too, I feel.
Exactly.
Yeah, to like be a little team. Also, Amber Turd VT, don't know if I pronounced your name correctly. I'm really sorry if I didn't. Thank you so much for the follow. I really, really appreciate it.
Amber Totimi.
I don't want to
Love
say
the
I
name.
pronounced it right. I don't know if I pronounced it wrong, but I said what I said. Corin says, gonna go grab some dinner, but I enjoyed hearing about this game. Really excited to try out the demo myself. Thank you, Corin. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your dinner.
All right, so the next question, it's kind of self-explanatory, but maybe you can go a bit in detail over that one. So the next question is, how do you feel about your current project? What are you working on right now?
Okay, so I'm currently working on Sweeter Yesterday, which is an cute/horror RPG, and it is about reminiscing in your childhood. Actually, let me just read out the like legit description that I spent time typing out instead of trying to remember it in my head.
Yeah,
I should
chat, she
remember it
needs
in
the
my head,
cheat
but
sheet.
no, it's it flows more nicely. Okay, are you guys ready for like my reading, my dramatic reading? You play as a young girl named Loletta and go on a we're trying again. You play as a young girl named Loletta and go on a reminiscent adventure throughout her childhood world, coming across her imaginary friends along the way. Laletta's friends all have aspects of her personality intertwined in them, so when they start to become selfish and insincere, or vain and narcissistic, Laletta wonders if these bad traits are present in herself too. Ah! Gasp.
Gaspoo!
Gaspoo! So that is the story of my current game, and I am the creator, writer, programmer, and voice actress of Laletta, and it's my first actual game. Like, obviously I've dabbled in RPG Maker briefly before. I created like one test project, but that was just like learning how the engine actually works. So I'm still like really new to RPG Maker. I just started learning how to use it properly January this year, but I'm learning so much all the time. So I'm really happy about how progress is going.
So let me link over to your Twitter page again. So if you guys want to stay
Thank you for like the
updated with the
Twitter
project,
linking.
you can always follow them here, and I can highly recommend that because they post updates super often.
I do, guys. I do.
Totally Not Suzuki says, I think Pocket Mirror and Sweeter Yesterday are the only games I've seen that have voice acting for laughs and stuff. Interesting to see. Yeah, I agree.
Oh, my father has Aya, but she only does like gasps, like ah! Which I find quite sad because it's like Aya, I want to hear you laugh. Like, why are you not smiling? But yeah, Pocket Mirror does do the voice acting for laughs. So it's good. The 112th time you post my link. Thank you so much. I'm not complaining. I'm eating it up.
Oh wow, thank you for the bitties. Thank you so much. Ah, this is an amazing stream and really exciting to see. Good luck with everything, you two. Thank you, Sabaham fan. You're amazing. Thank you so much for the support.
Yay!
I really, really appreciate it. You know, you guys make me want to continue with these kind of streams by showing up and being active, you know. It's nice to see people care about these interviews. So for those of you that maybe just tuned in, I am Digishell, Tamagotchi VTuber, and I like interviewing other people with my Host in the Shell podcast. So if that's the kind of thing you like, consider giving me a follow. I do these kind of things at least twice a month. I think twice a month is a good like way. Yeah, I think that's what we're currently doing. So we have interviews planned for DJs and music producers, for cosplayers, streamers, you know, VTubers, game devs, toy makers. Like we have all kind of people that are willing to be interviewed by me. So we also have a claymation artist, which is interview I still need to publish because that was made before I was a VTuber. But if you like this kind of content, please consider following because I put my heart and soul into these streams and it means a lot to me.
Yes, guys, everyone follow Digi. Like, she is an absolute pleasure to work with, and I'm so honored to be here today. Like, thank you so much.
You're so sweet to me. Thank you, thank you. Totally Not Suzuki
Of
says
course.
the father also says Aya.
Oh, he does. That gave me nightmares. He said it in his like really creepy voice.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that was again. That's like Ben Drowned. That's too big for baby me. That's like too scary. Rosa says these streams are so cool. I would love to see more. Yeah, you're so kind to me. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, bless.
Mayu Cocoon says I'm using another engine, but thanks for the advice. Forgot to hit send 5 minutes ago. It's all good. I think all the game making communities in general and like the art communities tend to be really, really welcome when it comes to like asking for advice and help. I know, for example, I did Blender for a while, and there's a really good Blender subreddit if you do like 3D modeling, and I think that's true for Unity as well. Also, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you, thank you. Stash Mark, thank you so much. I have a hard time pronouncing things because I always confuse Y and J. So I'm just like, okay, I need to do this right now. I need to... the right letter. Which one is it? Let's see. All right. My next question for you. Do your friends and family know and support your passion?
Oh my gosh, that was such a lovely question. Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely. I have two older sisters, and we all grew up watching manly badass heroes like RPG horror let's plays, and we all love them to this day. So my eldest sister, she actually goes by Archicade Online. She makes her own games as well, which is like definitely of huge inspiration for me. Like, you can imagine growing up with a sister who actually makes her own games. So that inspired me a lot. And I always admire her because she's so talented. Like, she does all the art and music for all her games by herself. So like a total solo dev. And she uses like so many different engines as well, not just RPG Maker, like RenPy, Unity, Pico 8, all of that really cool stuff. So I'm super supportive of her, and she's super supportive of me, and it's so nice to have like because I'm very close with my own sister, that like my family like knows about my hobby and stuff. And of course my other sister is super supportive as well. And as for friends, oh my gosh, my friends are so supportive. They actually actively help me in my project. So my best friend, her name was Paris. She like helps me with the editing of dialogues in the game, like for scenes and stuff. She helps me rewrite it if it sounds weird, or she gives me suggestions for like characters' backstories and stuff. And then my other friend Eris actually helps me with animation in the game. Like she did the um La Letter animation that you guys will see on my Twitter and on the itch.io page, the one of La Letter like blinking and she's moving and her hair is swaying and all of that. So it's so lovely that my friends and family get involved and support me in what I do, and I just love it so much.
Do you have a link to your sister's page, perhaps, and to your
Oh,
friend's
I
page?
do. Thank you for asking. She will be so happy to know that I like plugged her. Oh, should I send it in the chat or will it block it again?
Yeah, just send it on Discord because I think I'm
Okay.
the only one who can like break my own rules.
So she goes by Archicade.
Just let me follow up with chat for a second. I'm a musician who makes stuff inspired by Yuminiki fan games. Where would you guys suggest going if I'd like to work with people on RPG Maker games? It's always been something I wanted done. I want to do.
Oh, to work with people, definitely Discord servers. Like that is where creatives are most, especially game developers. So just probably go on. And I think that that's wonderful that you're a musician who wants to like give their talent, because most people are always looking. They're like, oh, I need a musician, I need an artist. But to have someone like you who's like, I am a musician and I want to work on a game, literally like any Discord server like that's tagged RPG Maker or something, and just be like, explain who you are and say, I'm willing to, you know, work on a game. Is anyone interested? And I hope you have a lot of fun with that, because that sounds really exciting.
And there are lots of, there are lots of people of all skill levels who are always looking to increase their team. And these kind of opportunities are also great, if you want to publish a portfolio at a certain point, you can show what kind of projects you took part in. So even if it might be, a passion project where no one knows when it will ever like come out, you can still share your work on your personal website or your Twitter or, your, portfolio side of your choosing. And that is still really great to showcase what you can do. So I'd 100%, recommend just testing the waters, trying things out, no matter what your skill level is. To everyone watching, just try making what you want to make, regardless if it's streaming, regardless if it's making games or making music. Try it out. It really doesn't matter how good you are, because every step you take is a step in the right direction to figure out what you like, what you dislike, what you can do, what you can't do. And that is how learning works. Trying and failing, trying and failing over and over again, and getting better each and every time.
Yes. So inspiring.
Thank you, Roses. Thank you. Mayu Cocoon says, I'm planning to learn how to use Blender for my games model. Oh, that's great. Blender is it gives you lots of tools and lots of like artistic directions you can go with. And there's a tutorial for almost everything. So I can show you what I can do, which is again not amazing. I'm not I'm not really, like that skilled with these kind of things, but there's a really, really famous tutorial for Blender, and it's called the donut tutorial. I could show you my donut if you guys want to see.
Oh.
Oh, he's a bit big, isn't he? So that's what I did in Blender, and like, I'm a little baby. Like, I know nothing. I have 2 left hands. I'm really not good with these kind of things. So definitely, check out the Blender Guru donut tutorial, and that teaches you everything in really easy terms to understand. How to rotate things, how to duplicate things, how to change the texture on things, you know. And every part is like 10 to 20 minutes long. And I think what the... Oh, my model is really unhappy with me. Give me a second.
Wait, is that not a real donut?
That's
It took me like
not.
5 minutes to realize that's the one you... Oh my gosh!
All right, give
It's
me...
so good though!
Just give me a second, guys. I'm gonna put you on the BRB. You can still hear us. Because my model has like this weird bug where I need to reset VTube Studio every 2 hours. And it seems like since we started prepping, you know, it has been 2 hours. So now the model needs this little pat on the back. Yeah, I'm in the talks with the devs of VTube Studio because there's like a help and advice thread. So, you know, guys, you don't need to worry. It's all good. But,
We're still here.
yeah, we're still here. We can still hear you. I just needed, you know, a moment to just reset the model because otherwise you will see, you will see her doing a little techno rave. And I don't really think we need to have her do that. She doesn't need to techno rave, but it's all good. We can still hear you. I just need a brief moment. It's so weird. It wants iTunes to be open. Like, I really don't know what's causing it, but it's always asking for iTunes to, like, be connected to it. I don't understand it. I don't understand how this works. But give me one brief second to fix it, and I'll be right back with you. But,
No worries.
So, to just respond to Sabaham fan real quick. I like that this is not only answering questions about the game, but actually giving real good advice for people in general who want to make their own games. Good stuff. So yeah, this is actually the whole point of the podcast. The podcast is there to encourage people who want to get creative in whatever field they choose to do. I made this podcast because I wanted to give the people the opportunity to try new things, you know, without being scared. That was like my one thing, you know, that I wanted to do.
Which is so lovely, and I always find it like so amazing that you do this. And I said this so many times already, but I'm so flattered that you asked me to join you today. Like, thank you so much.
Of course, you know, it's my pleasure. It really is my pleasure. I can tell you that like 100%. Let's see, is she still unhappy or is she doing my bidding? Ah, she's still unhappy. Why is she like this? She's such a drama queen. She's just like, yeah, you should have updated your iTunes. I want my Doodle Jump and I want my iTunes songs. And I'm just like, girl, we're making a podcast here. Please chill. Alright, I don't know why she's doing this and I can't get her to stop doing this if I'm completely honest with you. So I think we're just gonna take the L and I'm gonna bring her back, and she is looking like a silly little baby. So be kind to her.
I think she's gonna look beautiful. I believe in her.
She's idling, definitely. Let me close this. Yeah, she's really emotive now. Yeah, she's the needy streamer overload. I agree. I really love my model, and it's not the model's fault. I think it's either my phone's fault. Thank you for the bits again. You're so sweet to me. You're doing a good job then. I'm sure this is being a great help for people. Here's a little bit more bits. Sorry it's not much. I know bits give little revenue. I really don't care. You know, you guys being here, that's all I could ask for. Like, that's all I need. When people see this, when people make their own games, that's all I need to see, you know? Like, I just want people to make their own projects, because for those guys that don't know, I had a tumor earlier this year. All right, she's back. She snapped out of her temper tantrum. She's back now. Let me just fix this real quick. All right. Yes, and now we have another 2 hours of runtime before she decides to go crazy again. But for those of you that don't know, I had a tumor in my lower spine earlier this year in January. That was before I started VTubing. I started in August of this year. And while I was in the hospital, I started focusing on becoming a VTuber, trying to commission a model, you know, getting stuff done. Because I wanted to have something for myself and, you know, to kind of show my creativity. And, you know, all these people that choose to work together with me, all these people that choose to be there for me in that hard time, really inspired me to do this kind of podcast and do these kind of, you know, this type of content where I want to give people a voice. I want people to talk about their passion and about their projects. So yeah, you know, if you like what you see, I do this a lot. And we're also playing RPG Maker games. So if you're into that kind of stuff, definitely consider sticking around.
That's so inspiring, Digi. Oh my god, thank you for sharing.
Did you make your model yourself? It's gorgeous. No, my model was made. Also, thank. It's gorgeous. Yes, my model was made by the amazing Nessie Slake, who's my art mama. She's an artist from Austria. And my rigging papa is Kevin. That's KVX art or KXV art. I always confuse the order of the letters, but you can find it down on my credits page. They're wonderful. And the reason I could afford such a wonderful model is simply that I was in the hospital for half a year, couldn't move, couldn't stand, you know, couldn't even turn my body because of my spine. So I had lots of money to spend. I don't recommend this if you have like a life and bills to pay, but I was literally just a, you know, dead fish in the hospital. I didn't have stuff to do. So that is like my little present, you know, for myself to keep on going, to keep on trying, to keep on doing my best. And that's why, yeah, I'm really happy with how the model turned out, and it's my pride and joy. And it's a, you know, it's making me really happy with what it makes me able to achieve. Oh geez, I hope you're doing better now. Yeah. I had a tumor checkup earlier this year. The tumor was successfully removed in February after 3 surgeries. So like,
oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So like the first surgery was in February, second was in March, the third was in April, and then it took me like a long time to recover. And I had a checkup a while ago, and they say it didn't grow back, so that's really neat. And I have another checkup in January, so that's obviously something that makes me a little scared at the moment, where they hopefully gonna tell me again that nothing new was found, and I just, you know, can continue living my life as I am. Hope it goes well. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Also, take your nap, Mayu. Take your nap. 2 a.m. Oh no.
That's not a nap. That's going to sleep.
But yeah, you have my good prayers. I really appreciate it. I know that even if something would happen, I'm really thankful over all the good work I could do in the time that I had, if that makes sense. So, you know, I can't control what happens, but I can control how I use my time. And at least in my brain, I know I gave it my fullest at every single point to try to, you know, make life for others a little bit brighter. So yeah, you know, that's all I can say. Play good games, make art, make everything. Because, you know, health is scarce. Health is something that can be taken away from you, and it's no one's fault, and there's no one to be mad there. So use the time that you have. Voice your passions. It doesn't need to be, you know, something grandiose. It doesn't need to be a finished project, but if you ever wanted to try making beats, if you ever wanted to try making a game or cosplaying or being a VTuber, use your time, okay? That's my earnest advice for you. Use the time that you have.
That's so inspiring. Oh my goodness.
Thank you, thank you. I used to have a bad sleep schedule. Then my friend forced me to watch her play Higurashi, and that fixed my
Oh
sleep
my
schedule
god.
now.
Oh my god.
Higurashi's good though. Higurashi's really good.
I love Higurashi. Oh my god.
Rosa says, going to do some work for RPG Maker. I love the stream. See ya. See ya. Thank you for showing up.
Bye, Livy. Thank you for joining. Oh my
Thank you,
goodness.
thank you. Yeah, good advice. Oh! You gnomed me again. This is the second time I'm being gnomed today. Thank you so much. You're too sweet. Also, thank you for the bitties. Thank you, thank you. Don't be afraid of trying and failing. Be afraid of failing without a try. Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
deep. I love it.
there's this really nice quote where it says, the best time for planting a tree was yesterday, and the second best time is today. So, you know, just try it out. You know, things don't always need to be postable. Things don't always need to be perfect or, you know, a marvel in their field. If you like drawing, maybe try out a new medium. Maybe try out, you know, something completely different. Or try, you know, drawing hands. Try learning something that's really difficult and wrap your head around it. I promise you, when you did it, you will have some sort of progress, even if it still doesn't look like a perfect, you know, Renaissance painter hand. Or if, you know, your game has lots of like pre-made assets. I promise you, the creative virtue of having made something out of thin air that didn't exist prior is already groundbreaking. I'm tearing up. I can't stop. I'm sorry.
No, exactly.
I just think it's, you know, it's the kind of thing why I'm doing this podcast, because I just want these kind of voices to be heard and people to express themselves. And I am glad, you know, you made a game. I had a lot of fun playing your game, and I know you aren't the only person that worked at that game. I know the sprites were being made by someone, and you said the music was made by someone else, and I think it's just so valuable as a collective effort. Oh, thank you, thank you. I just think, you know, it's just so great how we can connect with others through making things together and experiencing things together, you know? That's all I can say. I just think every game, no matter if it's like Pee Pee Poo Poo Quest 2 on Steam, if that was, you know, made as like a class project, I still think that has a value, you know? Or if it's like, you know, it's a flash animation that you had to do for like, I don't know, computer class in like 7th grade, I still think these kind of things are valuable and are like our, you know, human heritage in a way. The stuff we leave behind, the fun that we had, the friends that we made. And you never know where you end up. You know, maybe you will get a really great project off the ground that will be the next Mad Father, or the next, you know, famous cosplayer. I don't, whatever you want to do, there's so many things, and yeah. That's all I can say.
No, I totally agree. Oh my goodness.
I'm crying big time right now. Totally Not Suzuki says, RPG Maker horror community is especially really cool. I've made some of my bestest friends through it, and there's so many cool things people make, especially in Yuminiki community. Yeah. 100% true. 100% true. Just find your niche. Find the thing that's interesting to you. You like trains? Photograph them. Make a song about them. Make a train game. Just like, it doesn't need... It doesn't need to be groundbreaking. Just scream into the void and make your little thing. There, you know, that's just something that I see a lot of younger artists struggling with. Where they say, oh, you know, I'm not good at drawing, I'm not good at making things. And you said it yourself, right? Like in January, it still looked rough, at least for you. But you made so much progress. Like, I'm so proud of you, of where you are now.
Oh,
All right, I'm getting too sentimental. Let's cut this off, shall we? This is a serious
No, that was so
podcast
sweet,
over
but
here.
thank you. Oh my God.
Well, I'm glad, you came on the show. I'm really glad. Oh God, I didn't see your message. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
All right, I'll respond to the bit message, and then we're gonna find someone to rate. Thank you so much for indulging my rambling.
No,
thank you,
of course, I had
Analog.
so much.
Thank you. Sorry, so fuzzy.
Oh, I just read that message. Thank you so much, Analog. That is so sweet.
Sabie, you are incredible and have plenty of talent. I wish you the best in your game, and it will be one of the best of this decade. And I'll be happy to see you more often here on the stream and on Discord. Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
so
Oh my
nice
goodness.
to me.
Right? How sweet is that?
Also, Penguin Anarchy V2, thank you for the follow. Thank you for being here. It has been a wonderful podcast. It has, as always, I'm, glad we sat down and talked about games. And I hope you guys enjoyed the content. So, if you wanna, I have a Discord. Oh, even more bits! You are crazy, Sabaham fan. Thank you so much.
That is so sweet. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what bits do, but like, slay.
These are
Guys,
my last
you can tell I
bits.
don't use Twitch.
It's all good. It's all good. These are my last bits. Thank you so much for an amazing stream. You two are amazing people, and I hope everything goes great in the life of you two. You're wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Now let's give the kindness forward and find a nice person that can use the raid. And I already have a candidate. So today we're rating Rhea Hard, who's chatting with you guys. Definitely check Rhea out. They're a great content creator, good friend of mine. Tell them it's the Shell Rain Parade, if you are so inclined. And also, yeah, Sabie's adorable. I agree. Yeah, feel free to use the commands Analog posted. I'm gonna send you over to to Rhea Hard. I'm so sorry. Also, check out Sabie on Twitter. I posted their link like a million times. And I wish you guys a wonderful evening, a good night. And
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here, Sabie. You were a wonderful guest, and it was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it. See you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And goodbye.